let's start with speed skating. For somebody that's not watched it for some reason, tell me about the sport.
Well, I mean, it's a very fast-paced sport. A lot of people don't know about it, but there's obviously strength and speed involved, but there's a lot more racing, and so I think that's the main difference between the two disciplines. Where our short track is a lot more focused on like the racing and strategic aspects, and so I think it's very entertaining to watch. There's three main distances: the 500, the 1,000, and the 1,500. And then there's two relay distances, or I guess three, like the gender relay and then the like mixed relay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say.
And then which ones do you like the best?
Well, I'm kind of like the relay, like I'm more of a relay member, and so that's my main role on the team, and it has been for the past like quad, I would say. And so for me, that's been my favorite. Also just being able to skate with other girls who are so strong. And then individually, I prefer the 1,000, but yeah.
Yeah. Your family moves from Korea to Bellevue when I think you were 6.
Yeah, so my brother was born in Bellevue.
Your brother was born in Bellevue,
yeah,
okay.
So all of us were born in the States. I was born in California, and so was my sister. But then we ended up moving back to Korea, where my parents are from.
Okay.
When I was like 5, and then we lived there for a few years. That's where we started skating, and then we came back to Bellevue.
Was your brother the first?
He was. My sister and I actually started out figure skating.
Okay.
But he was more into like speed skating, and so when we all came to America, I think my parents were like, we're gonna put you into one, and so we all kind of just went that direction.
What did you like about it early on?
Early on, I wasn't the biggest fan. I hated the cold, but I think over time, I really just, like, I enjoy going fast. I know a lot of people say that, but I think that was, like, the fun part of it. And then I think compared to long track, because Puget Sound, which is where, like, me and my siblings all started skating, it's a long track focused team, and so we have skated long track before, but I think compared to long track, I liked that there were more things that I could control in terms of like my strategy, my planning, and racing, rather than just, you know, being the strongest or the fastest one every time, because I don't know, I think that was what drew me to short track, I would say.
There's you, there's your sister, you know, we just spoke with Corey, we just chatted with Marcus, there's Cooper in long track, there's JR and Aaron Tran, you know, the list goes Apollo Ono. I mean, there's a lot from the Pacific Northwest. Why do you think there's so many speed skaters from the Pacific Northwest?
So there aren't actually too many clubs on the West Coast. I think we might be one of the only ones in the Pacific Northwest. Yeah. I think our rate of retention has been pretty high. And so I think because a lot of us that have grown up in that area have continued to skate up until now, we've been able to see kind of a lot of our skaters go on and do really successful things. But I don't know, I wouldn't say that it's necessarily there's a lot of people doing it or that it's super common, but just that I think us starting from that team, a lot of us kind of like, I guess, found our love for the sport there, and so it's been able to carry us into our like lives as athletes here, and I think that must be the main reason why. Yeah, no,
it's right on. You grabbed the 5th and final spot for the last Olympic Games, youngest on the team. Mm-hmm. What was that? And I know that it was COVID and there wasn't fans, but what was that like to make that Olympic team?
I think it was definitely very unexpected, both for me and for everybody else watching. But obviously it was like a huge, I was like so grateful for the experience. It was incredible to like go through, and then also to kind of get to know all the other girls while I was doing it. I mean, I think coming onto the team so suddenly, and with it being my first team, there were a lot of difficulties as well. But overall, I think it was just a huge honor, and like it was incredible.
Did it when you left there? Did it kind of put a hunger in yourself? Like, okay, I know what I got to do now to at the next time and how to get better and all that stuff?
Yes and no. I think if all of the the variables that kind of go into this were controlled, I would have been feeling a lot more confident going into trials this quad. But I was actually off completely last season. I didn't touch the ice for like 9 months because of an injury, like just a chronic injury coming back. And so I think I've really only started skating again since May.
Okay.
And so I think it's kind of hard to translate my experiences from 4 years ago to now just because the circumstances in which I've been skating are so different. But I am definitely trying to keep the experience and like everything I learned in mind so that I can keep myself in check and then hopefully put out the best performance I can at Olympic trials.
And I've dealt with a lot of athletes through the years, and the ones that get injured, sometimes they learn a lot when they're sidelined. Did you learn much when you're,
Yeah, I mean, I think I learned so much more about my body. I was in physical therapy for 8-ish months, and so doing that, like all the time, I still, do all those exercises, and then also just learning how my body reacts to certain things, where like the strengths and weaknesses are, areas for improvement. And so I think that has been really helpful, but yeah, there's still definitely some worries surrounding that area. So.
Is it fun doing this journey with your sister?
100%. I mean, we weren't sure at all if she was even going to be able to make it out here this summer, just because, like, she had to request leave from her school, and the protocols that they follow are quite different from Duke or anywhere else. And so we weren't entirely sure if she would be able to make it out here, but thankfully she is, and she's been doing incredibly well, and I'm so proud of her.
What would it mean for you to make a second Olympic team?
I mean, I think it's just everything that I could ever dream of. It's truly I think last Olympic trials, it wasn't even really something that I could even hope for, just because I did not think I had a shot. But then this time, I think building up to this trials, having prepared, been out with the team for so many seasons, and having become a part of the team more so than last time, I think it would just mean a lot more to me personally. In terms of representing the U.S. and everything, it's still just as much of an honor and so incredible. But yeah, I think to me personally, it would mean a lot more this time.
And I got to get you to practice. I'm going to ask one more real quickly. You talk about this team. This U.S. team is loaded right now. Mm-hmm. What is it like? How much do Corey and Santos, they push you?
Yeah, I mean, they're just such incredible and hardworking skaters. I think from them, there's so much to learn in terms of just skating, but also all these character traits that they have. That's what makes them such good skaters, and you can see that on the ice. And so it's definitely kind of crazy to think about how we have two of the best girls in the world skating on ice with us all the time. But yeah, I mean, they're also they're so down to earth, and they're very, I don't know, they've always been a great presence for me these past few years. So it's been good, I would say.